So this is a video I just grabbed Imran. I didn't give him a choice to actually voice. You don't even know what this particular video is about. But basically, just raise the hairband. So basically, what I wanted to do with you is I've been speaking about zombie scrolling. Zombie scrolling enhances materialism. It leads to depression. People are sometimes, committing suicide because of the social media bullying they get, or sometimes it's because they feel down because nobody's liking their posts like they did in the past. There's three aspects which I want to sort of highlight. One is that on social media, they're showing people that are better looking than you. So there's an image thing that you see, especially on Instagram. Then there's people who have a higher status than you. Then there are people who are wealthier than you. So in a way, it's very Dajjalic. It brings out the worst of humanity. And I think this is a pandemic. It is worse than coronavirus. It is worse than, I believe, most addictions that we talk about. I believe zombie scrolling, because no one sees it as bad. And two, it's prevalent. You wake up in the morning, you scroll. At nighttime, you scroll. What do you think about this?
It's bad. Very bad.
Thank you. So next week what do you mean?
It's bad. It's bad. What do you would say is bad? We all fall into it sometimes. It's
Sometimes. I think...
I know you do it a lot. Or you used to do it a lot.
I suffered from it, and I've been talking about it, but it still gets me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like now and again,
it's because it's half our lives are on the internet. Yeah. And most of the internet's through our phone devices or mobile devices. And that goes with us everywhere, even in the toilet. Yeah, so it's people are constantly on it, and there's only so much you can do on your phone. But it's for some reason these feeds have been designed in a way where it encourages you to keep on scrolling,
Yeah.
And all that's doing, I mean, even your eyes sometimes, you notice when you're scrolling, yeah, and if your phone freezes up, you go like this, your phone's frozen, but your eyes go up as if it's just scrolled. Yeah, your eyes follow, and it gives you this brain glitch type of thing. Yeah, it's crazy. But it's an issue, bro. It's messing up family time, messing up family relationships. It's causing a lot of anger and agitation within people as well.
Yes, anxiety,
Yep.
depression. And one of the things I'm thinking about is how to break the cycle. So for example, one of the things I tweet is stop scrolling and say La ilaha illallah. I want to explain why, and I want your thoughts on this. Firstly, one of the reasons you continue scrolling when you realize you're scrolling is you've already done so much scrolling. So you're like, oh, might as well carry on. It's like what the hell effect.
Yeah.
The thing is, in Islam, if you do a good deed, it wipes out a bad deed. And why I'm saying scrolling is bad is because you're actually coming across sometimes images which are haram. You're sometimes coming across, music. You're coming across things which are not good. Right? So you're coming across these types of things, and also it hardens the heart. So in a way, the statement La ilaha illallah is so heavy that it counteracts, in a way, all that scrolling that you've been doing. That's the way to think about it, and it's a fresh start.
Yeah.
And also that it makes you feel better that, look, you associate stop scrolling with some form of remembrance of Allah. Because essentially, that's what the Dajjalic worldview wants you to do. It wants you to get away from remembering Allah. It wants you to be just really, all the time. It wants you to just be busy with these trivial matters, with these, lowly desires, essentially. And what is the desire for status, desire for wealth, desire for better image? Essentially, it's a lowly desire. Yeah. And Islam teaches you discipline. Islam teaches you to fight these.
It's a waste of time. It literally is a waste of time, bro. Like you said, the whole thing about stop scrolling and say La ilaha illallah is very powerful, right? Someone may say, oh, it's just easy. Okay, he's giving us this. It sounds good on paper. Yeah, it sounds good on Twitter. But the reality is, if you weigh it out, that statement, even if it's just said, and if said with intention and understanding, is going to be worth your while. It's so much more valuable than just flicking through. And you may say, oh, I'm watching Muslim content. I'm scrolling through Muslim feeds, yeah? Bro, I'm sorry, but a lot of stuff out there, a lot of Muslim content out there is rubbish these days, bro.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time. right? It's just controversy sells.
It's like
it's entertainment. It's
like,
worse
hey,
than entertainment.
I'll give you an example. I've seen this myself.
Yeah.
So rather than a hedonistic person, a person who does not have an iman, basically saying, hey, look at my house, blah blah blah, now you'll have brothers and sisters doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Hey, look at my apartment, and look at this, and look at that. And imagine all the people who don't even have enough food to eat. Imagine all the people who are struggling to pay their rent when they look at that.
Yeah.
So, you know, in a way, we are going to become ungrateful for the blessings Allah has given us, because we're continuously being shown a world that is better.
Yeah.
And when that world which is better, that idealistic blueprint that everybody has in their mind doesn't match the reality, the gap between the two is basically depression.
It leaves you wanting more, right? It leaves you ungrateful. It leaves you feeling low. It leaves you feeling like I should have this. It inflates the ego, makes you feel sorry for yourself, right? Makes you pity yourself, and then you go into this downward spiral of depression and anxiety about, you know, how you don't have this and what you have to do to get there and get that and all of this. And look, read a book, start reading books.
Learn to bore yourself. Yeah. Learn to actually learn to do low-level dopamine activities, things that don't trigger that much,
but are far more meaningful.
More meaningful, because
make that there's a disproportionate there's a weird connection here. We do things which are meaningless, but just because they give us a dopamine kick, we rather chase the dopamine. We're like animals. There's no difference. You're just getting that kick that you need, and that's it. Whereas we're not doing things like reading a book is far more meaningful than scrolling through Facebook for an hour, right? But you're not going to get the same dopamine kick.
Even stopping, and this is something I said to somebody in my family recently, just reading even one verse of the Quran a day. Now, of course, that's very low. We should be doing far more than that, and thinking and reflecting and reciting. However, because the threshold is so low in terms of where we are, sometimes it's better to just stop and just read one verse, because sometimes that'll make you think. You know, because what is the Quran? The Quran is there to change your mind, and once your mind is changed, once your heart is changed, because the Quran has those heart-changing statements, then your actions change, your vision changes, your perspective of life changes. You learn to discipline yourself. Because I actually thought about something. I was listening to, you come across these personal development stuff and quotes online and videos and all this. And there's somebody, I don't want to say his name because he has other content which is nonsensical. There's somebody who said something amazing. He said that the difference, basically paraphrasing, the difference between success and failure is not who's creative or whatever. It's people who are disciplined. And another guy, and whose name I will take because this guy is generally very good, Robert Greene, he basically speaks about, it's about your continuous habits every day rather than your, he speaks about himself that it's not the burst of creativity you get a few times a year or in a lifetime or whatever. It's actually your daily habits which lead to whether you're going to be successful.
Yeah. And
dopamine's triggering and scrolling and all of these types of things, they destroy, absolutely destroy your ability to focus and do those meaningful things that you need to do consistently every day.
And it boils down to change, bro. People don't like change. We don't like to change. We like being, we're creatures of comfort. Yeah. So as long as you feel like you're safe and things are good, you would remain doing the same thing. And a lot of times we don't realize we become stagnant by doing that.
Yeah.
You become stagnant. And what happens to stagnant water, bro? It just goes off.
You get disease.
Disease, exactly.
You can't make wudu with it.
You can't do anything. You can't drink it.
You can't.
It'll kill you. So, and then that's the state we end up in. And we think we're used to, it's a habit. Now I'm home, now it's time to scroll, or now it's lunchtime scrolling. Break the habit. And it's easy, or it's simple, but it's not easy. Right? It's a simple process. I want to change. You want to change. Yeah. We make that commitment.
When do we scroll? This is also very important.
When do you scroll?
We scroll when we're on our own, or sometimes people are scrolling when they're with each other and they're scrolling. But generally, scroll on your own. And the thing is, the reason for that. This leads me to, I think it's Arthur Schopenhauer, one of these philosophers. He said, it's not Schopenhauer, but someone can fact check me on this. He said the world's problems boil down to people not being able to be alone, right? And it's true. Yeah. It's like, it's not exactly true, but you get my point. It's a broad statement which has a lot of meaning, that generally there's a lot of problems which exists because people just can't be alone with themselves. They have to be surrounded by constantly other things to distract them. But we as Muslims, we need to learn to be alone, because I think being alone leads to spirituality. I think people who manage to spend time with themselves, they're likely to be more spiritual because they are talking to Allah.
But
they have this type of connection.
The first phase, it's the initial phases of that. It's very it's scary. When people initially start spending time, like switch off their phone and just be with themselves, it's very difficult, bro.
Yeah.
But you have to start with that, right? Because people don't like it because they don't know who they are. They don't have to deal with themselves, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do with
They don't
myself?
know where they are.
I'm looking, I'm seeing, I'm smelling, but what do I do? And it's the anxiety, it's this fear. It boils down to fear. Fear is stopping you from stopping scrolling, right? The fear of the unknown, the fear of how am I going to deal with myself if I'm not scrolling? Bro, I was speaking to some brothers a little while ago, yeah? I told them to take a break of YouTube. Yeah, just take a break, relax a bit. You can focus on other stuff, right? And they said to me very clearly, look, I'm afraid. I don't know what I'm going to do if I come off YouTube. I'm going to get depressed. It's fear that was stopping him from doing what he needs to do and what's right for him.
And I think everyone faces that problem, whether you're a YouTuber or not. People don't want to leave social media because they think, oh, I'm missing out on something. And I think Jordan M from Speaker's Corner, he said something interesting in a video. He said that, he jumped off social media, then he came back after some weeks or whatever, and he said nothing changed. We think, oh my God, something must be changing around the world. No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's the same old world.
So it's look, guys. It's at the end of the day, if you can't stop it, it's not that you can't stop it. It's you're afraid of stopping it, right? But it's time we stop and ask ourselves: do we want to be cowards, or do we want to be courageous and make those small steps? Because look, I guarantee you this: it's fear. We're cowards. We don't want to stop doing whatever we're doing, whatever habit we have, which has become a habit. Although we know it's bad for us, we know all of that, right? But we don't stop because we're afraid of the unknown. And this is Shaitan's ploy, bro. He scares you. He scares you about, oh, what's going to happen if you don't do this? What's going to happen if you don't do this? Just stop and see what happens. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to be uncomfortable for a while. You're going to be agitated. You're going to maybe struggle with it for a day or two or three. And before you know it, you're going to replace that empty space or time with something far more meaningful and worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then you're going to look back and say, why didn't I do this years back?
It's true. Absolutely true.
So stop scrolling today, bro.
So that's it.
Seriously.
Jazakallah khair. And this video I'm going to put on my channel. He wanted to put it on his. The thing is, we are going to be doing LDM shows, like we said we're going to, inshallah. I was traveling.
I did one LDM show on my channel. And
then,
before I brought it up, he brought it up, so he doesn't have to deal with it then. But he hasn't still.
We're gonna restart, and also we're going to be doing a response video very soon, inshallah, on some recent events. So until next time, Jazakallah khair for listening.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.